Welcome. To recap on the business series, we have seen what all the complexities and intricacies involved in setting up the business and how to source money for you, for your business rather, and where something could break you, like in terms of legality and contracts. Once you have got to know about all these things, then what you need to decide is your business plan. So that is the topic today, business plan. And again, this might be slightly lengthy in the context of time, like the previous ones or the couple of ones before. The reason being is that it is again an important subject, and if you are at that level, obviously you will try to pay attention to this. So where do you start with your business plan? The business plan starts with your market and the or the industry where you are in. For example, you may be giving it as a consumer product, or it may be an engineering product. So you need to understand the market from the industry perspective, from the consumer perspective, from the legislations perspective, from the geography perspective, and from the user's behavior perspective. So once you have an idea about the market, then what you need to do is you have to map that to what you are trying to offer in the form of a product or service delivery. So we discussed about the claims, right, for the value which you are going to create. So have that in mind, and for that, what is the market and what are the things you are going to offer as your product or service delivery solutions. So once you know that, the first step uh, here is you have to start listing down some assumptions. That is rule number one. You should not get into the figures straight away, because you have to make all your assumptions. The assumptions could be from the form of a business, or in the form of environment in which you are in, or in the form of the capability of the company per se to handle that kind of a market pressure. Or if you are going to push that into a market, then what is the latent potential which you need to develop for yourself to push into a market in order to achieve your revenue targets. So you have to make a list of assumptions, and as far as possible you make your assumptions quantifiable. Don't say that no, we need to have a good market share. Maybe make a statement like no, we want to capture 20% market over a period of 3 years. That would be definitely a better one, rather than making a generic statement like we want to have a very good market share over a shorter period of time. Don't say that way. So you need to classify all your assumptions based on business, market, internally how you are going to go about delivering that. So you we discussed about the designs, a lot of things, right? So at every stage you may have to make some assumptions that either you are going to get the money, or you are going to get the resources, or you are going to make some assumptions with respect to your product or product capability, or service capability, and so on and so forth. So that is on one side, and the other set of assumptions are all on the revenues and forecasts. And when it comes to forecast, it's not just revenue, it includes cost forecast also. So you need to have you need to make an assumption, because for example, the cost overrun for this year might be different from that of the next year. So obviously you may have to factor in, say, 10% or 15% rise to the last year's or current year's cost to the next year. But you cannot assume the same way that in revenue also you will correspondingly make 20% improvement or 30% improvement, like that. So there you need to validate back with your market market capability or potential of the market. Like say for example, there are 1 crore or billions of mobile phones. Then you can assume, but you cannot assume that everybody. Suppose you are in the habit of or in the business of selling cabs, then you cannot assume that all the billion population of the country will wear hat the way you want it. So you cannot assume that. Only those who go for go out in sunlight might use it. Okay, so so you have to filter your market and segment it, whether it is for based on demography, based on the age, based on the gender, based on whether it is a working professional or non-working person or retired professional. Like that you have to segment it, and then you make reasonable assumptions. Then you make your revenue projections, or in which market you are trying to fit in, and then you make a projection. So you cannot say that I am going to sell something for the youth, and I am going to double it every year. But the youth population may not be doubling it every year. So obviously if somebody is going to fund you, you'll stop you at that point that you are talking nonsense. So your assumptions have to be really validated, and it has to be probably approved in your organization with respect to a lot of parameters like market. Once you make all your assumptions numerically enough, then you need to jot down your cost factors. The cost, again, you need to have a 3 to 5 years month on month plan, and you have to have different headings like what is the management cost, what is the sales cost, cost of resources on one side, there is a marketing cost separately, and if you are going to use partners, then what is the cost of acquiring a partner, and you may have to pay back something back to the partner in the form of a commission or brokerage. So you need to apportion that. Then there is a cost of manufacturing, there is a cost of factory, there is a cost of setting up the shop floor, buying equipments. So in every step you need to list down what are all the cost elements, and you may have to where there is a depreciation involved, probably you may have to include depreciation also into account, so that appropriately it can be taken care in the P&L. And the cost of operations as we talk about. So finally month on month you will get that cost. So certain things you may not cost it month on month. Suppose you buy an equipment for $1 million or 10 crores, then you need to check with the auditors what is the duration on which you are going to capitalize something going getting out of that equipment. So for example normally people will take about 5 to 15 years or 10 years average. People will take that, okay, I am going to use that. Like now you buy a mobile phone, you won't buy a mobile phone month on month, right? But you are going to pay for internet or for usage, you are going to pay month on month. So it is not just a mobile cost, it is a mobile plus month on month cost. Then you need some other accessories like the holders and something to protect your glass, etc. So all these things, all these costs. So if you are going to buy a mobile for 10,000, then you need to apportionate that 10,000 over a period of say 3 years. I mean, you have to make an assumption here that you are going to use that mobile for 3 years, then divided by 36, then whatever is the cost that way. Suppose on the other hand, if you are trying to use this mobile for 5 years, then divided by 5 into 60, that is, sorry, 5 into 12 is 60. So 10,000 divided by 60. So appropriately you have to arrive at month on month cost. Certain things you may have to discuss with your auditor to get to know about how to what is the life of that particular equipment or that usage. Once you do that, then you need to get on to the revenue side. Here you should not normally go at your pricing per se. There are two variables to get the revenue. One is the volume and second one is the price. The volume should get mapped to your market size, and you have to apportionate or rather appropriately calculate the market size growth or negative growth appropriately and factor in to your volume. So you cannot say that every year I'll grow 20% or 50% or 100%. So it has to be in proportionate, and even if the market allows you that, your growth has to be because today you are at zero, and you are going to grow to say 5% of the market, get say X number of customers, that is the volume. Then hope you remember our discussion on growth, consolidation, growth in that cycle. So you need to consolidate. You cannot say that every year flatly I grow. You are going to fail. So you have to consolidate. So you need to have a as part of the business plan itself, you need to have a consolidation phase. Like for every 3 years, maybe you will take 1 year or 1.5 years or 2 years to consolidate, then grow further from that. So it's like steep, then stable, then steep. The second steep need not be exactly like the first steep. It can be even steeper also. So that depends on the markets and your wherewithal to push your product or services to your customers or market. So here the important point is that whether the market is ready to take that by in terms of volume. Second is on the pricing. Again, that pricing depends on whether you are in a FMCG or you are in engineering, you are in a B2B, B2C. I mean that there is a psychological things also go into pricing strategy. But for now, let's not worry about psychology and other things. But definitely, there are quite a few elements which you need to know to safeguard pricing. But off late, I'll give you one small clue here or tip or a hint. Like nowadays, with everything going cloud, people are trying to reduce the price so that they get more volume. So price into volume, they still get the market, because to achieve that growth in volume, the cost factor is going to come down because of going with cloud, for example. Okay, we have to discuss something here about the kind of product or services. We are coming up with the first strategy as another video. There we will discuss about how to go about that. For now, you take volume and price as two different factors. Once you calculate the volume into price as the revenue, then again you have to put in the same order, like 3 months, 3 years or 5 years in the order of months. You have to apportionate. There's a catch again here. Suppose you are in the business of non-IT oriented or non-cloud or non-computing oriented business. So only you need to remember these terms. In the month of January, suppose you are doing the service. In order to raise the invoice, it might take some time. It may be 1 day or it may be 1 month, because you need to consolidate what actions that have been carried out. And if it is contract based in a B2B order, then you need to consolidate what that your team has done in that period. That will take some time. Then you have to prepare the invoice, then you need to notify your customer, and customer as part of the payment terms you would have mentioned 30 days, 60 days cycle, whatever is that. So you will raise the invoice, and after that payment terms only you will collect the invoice. So there will be easily a gap of 3 months. Normally you can expect 3 months gap if you are in a B2B space. Whereas if you are in a B2C space, mostly it is on cash meaning if not instantly, within T+2 or T+3 days of the transaction, through payment gateway, or if it is through check or through any other payment gateways, whether it's a credit card, maybe credit card may take some more time, but otherwise you will get the money within a shorter period of time. But if it is on a B2B, definitely you need to factor a minimum of three months. But that itself is not quite good enough, because as part of your cost, in case if you are going for a loan, which we discussed in the earlier video, or there is a loan element involved, then you have to pay or include the cost of loans, like your interest on payments or commissions or whatever it is, that you need to include in your cost. So like that, you need to arrive at revenues and the cost. Once you have that, then you can calculate the difference of that is your gross profit, and then you apply you reduce your interest and taxes, you will get the net profit. So here you need to remember one important thing. You may not have all the cash flow in order to supply it for your cost, okay, or service your cost rather. So to get a revenue, it may take for example 3 months or 4 months, or in order to develop a product and push it onto cloud, that will also take probably 6 months to 1 year or 2 years sometimes, or even more than that if it is a large product. So you need to get revenue, get money for servicing your cost. So that now with all your interest etc included, probably if you are on a cloud, as I said, you will start getting the money in the same month, very highly likely. But if it is otherwise, it will take 3 months, 6 months. So you need to calculate from whether you are profitable from the project point of view, or or project not necessarily an IT project. It can be your construction project. It could be shop floor project, whatever it is, at that item level or equipment level or asset level. Then whether you are profitable at that level, then whether you are profitable at a customer level, you are profitable at maybe a group of customers, which is like master service agreement to supply to multiple customers, like governments for example. So whether you are profitable at that level. So all these things are only possible if you have a steady inflow of cost. A steady inflow of money to cover the cost. That is the right way to say. So from where you are going to get that money? So you are going to go to somebody, some lender, to get that money, or equity guy who is going to pump in that money. He is not going to give you all the money on day one. So you need to prepare a cash flow statement, that this revenue minus cost will give you any difference. So obviously initial period it will be negative, because there won't be any revenue, or revenue won't be good enough for your cost. So that difference, that is the difference somebody is going to pay you, so that you don't turn negative. At the same time, you don't become too positive, because it's a investor's money or the lender's money going to sit idle there. So he will exactly pay you that amount, that so that your revenue minus cost is zero, and you have to take your closing balance to the next month's opening balance, like that, so on and so forth, till when the infusion money is zero and you become zero. So that means now you are ready to make profit from that day onwards. Again, this profit is mostly on EBITDA, whereas as you need to turn green again post EBITDA also. So in terms of periods, if you start on day one, probably after 1 year you will be EBITDA, green on EBITDA, and maybe after 2 years you may be green on net profit also. So after that only you can think of repaying that loan, or the equity, whatever we discussed, the revenue options, the funding options. So that you have to remember from that perspective. And that period again, you should have enough money for you before you repay. So that is how the engine works. The entire business cycle works that way. So once you have all these things in place, your company will be evaluated for what is your worth, and on that somebody will take a bet and pay you maybe 2 times, 3 times of your bet, and push it. So though this is a business plan in general, wherever we talk about equipments, people, resource, or any types of resources, non-financial resources, you have to see that your processes, procedures, teams, your hiring strategy, your team's capability, everything should align to that particular goal. Okay, this is the essence. This is a very big topic, of course, and I am trying to give you a glimpse, and I want you to listen rather than giving you a template. Template looks easy to fill, but without understanding, if you start doing it, you are going to be in doom. So I'm not suggesting to give you a template at this point in time. Maybe as we go along, in the business and setting up the business, etc. Probably, I'll try to share some of the best templates for you. But for now, listen to this. Maybe you may have to repeat quite a few times to understand this, what I'm talking about, and try to come up with your own business plan. Maybe we can practice domestically now at home, like you being the family head. Try to make a plan for yourself, like a budget plan, something you start with. Try to figure it out, then try to mimic how somebody would have done it. Just search the internet or ChatGPT to find out how these things work, then correlate with what I'm saying. Try to come up with something on your own, and if you still have any doubt or something you need to check with me, feel free to email or give a comment. I'll give you a reply. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Enjoy, make a great business plan and succeed in your life. Thank you very much.